Hi everyone, it's Tammy with Frou-frou Studio, and today I am going to do this video as a subby request. I had a couple of requests on the hashtag 50stack challenge about how I put my book together, and so I'm going to show you guys how I assembled my book. That was actually an afterthought because I had originally bound it in just a kind of hidden spine kind of book, and my checks got so thick that I had to actually cut the binding off the book and kind of create a book as I went, and this was the finished result. And so a couple of people said that they would like to know how I put it together so that they could bound their guest checks. So I'm gonna do a quick tutorial on how I put my book together. This was actually a old book cover, and I used a Tim Holtz wallpaper to cover the front and the back of it because the cover wasn't in very good shape. And on the inside, originally it had book page, but that ended up getting covered up because of my bounding method. So I have a cover here that's a little bigger that I'm going to use in a journal in the next couple of weeks that I'm going to do in the same method because I like how it turned out, and so I'm going to make a full journal like it. This little closure I got at Joann's, and it's actually in the jewelry department, and it comes with a ring and it comes with this little hook, and you get like 3 or 4 in a pack, I think, with different finishes. And you just get, the hook in the ring. And then I just used a piece of twine to use, but you could use, leather or fabric or a chain, anything you wanted. And then I just put, a grommet in the front and the back to hold those. So that's that part. So what I have here is another book cover that was, the spine was in pretty rough shape. The book itself was in really good shape, but the spine had some damage, and so I cut the spine off, and then I painted the book with a chalk paint and sanded it. So that's where we are for a starting point. And this binding method is really good when you have single pages that you want to use in a journal that require them to be spliced together, to make a double page. I'm sure spliced is not the right word, but that's what I'm coming up with right now. Hinged. That's the word I want. So, what you'll need is all your pages that you're going to use. And like I said, they're just single pages. They're not, a page folded in half. And you're going to have a blank one for the front because you're going to bind that one to the inside cover like this. And that is what is going to be the start of your book. I hope that makes sense. And then you're going to cut several spines for however many pages that you have. and you're going to mount the spines to the pages. And that one's too long. We'll tear it off here. So, yeah, that'll work. Okay, so, and it can be any kind of material. It just needs to be fairly strong. You could use washi for this, but if you use washi, I would also use glue and not count on using just the tape itself. But you'll want something that's fairly sturdy, that's not going to break. And so you're just going to, and I just took this out of my scrap bin, so it may not be the strongest paper, but I just took it out so I could show you guys how I did it. So the first piece you're going to mount onto your first page, like so. And then that page would eventually be all glued down to the inside of your book. Okay? And I'm not going to do that because these aren't obviously the pages I'm going to use in the journal. So your next page, which is also just a single page, you would glue to this spine, splice, join-in piece, whatever you would like to call it. You want to make sure you get your edges lined up, and you would just mount it like that. And that's still too long. And I don't know why I'm being so particular about it, because it's just a prototype. Alright, and so then you're going to repeat the process for each page, and just put your little spliced piece on the back of the next one. Like that. And you keep on going like that until you have all your pages that you want in your journal. And then for the last page, you're going to do the same thing you did in the front, and you're going to splice it to the page before. Like that. And then you would take this whole page and glue it to the back cover. So what you would have is you would have this glued to the back, like that, and this glued to the front, like that. Okay? So then you have all your pages, you know, glued to each other, plus you have the back and the front glued to the front and the back of your book. All right? So when that is done, for decorative purposes and also for extra reinforcement, that is where I took these pieces of fabric and I just wrapped them around. I glued it here, and I wrapped it around and glued it in the back. So they're not glued here at all. They're just glued to the front and the back. And that just, you know, not only makes it look more pleasing to me, and you can make these thinner. If you wanted more of these pages to show, each of the pages to show, you can make these particular pieces thinner than what I did. They don't have to be wide. You could also use lace. That would look really nice if you wanted to use a piece of lace. But that just gives you some extra stability in your book so that it, you know, doesn't shift so much this way. It kind of just reinforces it. And like I said, it gives it a nice look, and it gives it a nice look when it's sitting on your shelf, because you see that. And you could, like I said, if you did use lace, you know, that would be real pretty sitting on your shelf. And you could embellish this if you wanted to. You could use leather straps going across there. That also would look really cool. So basically that's it, guys. It's not very difficult at all. Just make sure that whatever papers that you use, especially the papers that are going to be mounted to the front and the back, are sturdy. And make sure that your spine material is sturdy. See, this one has already broken off because I just grabbed a piece of book page. Or is that a different one? No, that's it. It's already broken off. So, but this one, you can see, is plenty sturdy. And, you know, mount here, mount there. And that will create that. And you could even, after you mounted here and there, you could even cover it again if you wanted. And then you would have a double strength there. But I've not had any problems with mine, with just the single page. So that's it. Not too difficult. I think you can do it. It's all going to be a matter of choosing the right materials and making sure that whatever you use for, you know, your splice piece is nice and sturdy. And whatever paper that you use for your front and back is nice and sturdy, so that when you mount it to the book, it's not going to rip apart. And if you will follow those rules, then, you know, you should have a nicely mounted journal with a really nice open spine that, you know, has really an interesting look on your bookshelf. So that's it. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I'll be glad to answer them for you. You know, I'm by no means an expert, but I will be glad to share with you, you know, how I did it, and answer any questions you have. So until the next time, everybody have a great week. Bye.